And thank you so much for being here. This is the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state that we live in. You can find us on social media, facebook.com/The Go Show with Mike Russell, and on Instagram at The Go Show with Mike Russell. YouTube, Go Outdoors with Mike Russell, where you can see this very video with Tom Caldwell. It has been a long time coming, my man. You are very busy. I'm so glad we finally connected. You are the proprietor of Blue Rooster Ranch, and we're going to learn all about that in just a moment. But first, you and I have a little bit in common outside of the hunting world. See, your day job, your family's day job is property management, and I spent several years in property management. The big difference between the two of us is you're really good at it. I am the worst, and I have been the worst property manager probably ever. So when I saw that in your email, I thought, wow, yeah, that's what it's like.
I don't know if I'm good at it, and I'm not really even that good at hunting. I just like them both, but I love hunting. I mean, property management, that's about as fun as a root canal. Only two people go to heaven, and that's mothers and property managers. But the truth is, hunting's a lot funner and a lot better people. So I love it.
Yes, it is. So we do have a lot in common in that way. So let's talk about Blue Rooster Ranch. I learned about you through a good friend, a common friend of ours, Chevy Dan, the blind hunter.
Oh yeah.
So
awesome.
yeah, he speaks so highly of your organization. So tell us a little bit about it. Tell us about the ranch, where it's at. Let's start there.
So the ranch is in northeastern Arizona, a little town called Woodruff. It's about a mile south of there, which is about 7-8 miles south of Holbrook and about 12 miles north of Snowflake, if anyone knows those areas. But it's cool. It has a little Colorado River running through it. It's a section of land, and it's got 2.1 miles of the little Colorado winding through it. And so that live water's there, and that's where everything goes to drink every day. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is. So how big is the ranch?
So it's a little bit bigger than a section. It's a section plus 80. And then it also and with the little Colorado winding through it, a section of land is a mile square. But if you follow from the front of the land all the way through, you can actually go through 2.1 miles of canyon just staying on the ranch, which is pretty sick.
Okay, so walk me through this. If I want to go hunting on the ranch, tell me what kind of species I could be hunting on the ranch.
So just real simply, we have hogs, rams, billies, and bison, and then some of the other like bovine species like Watusi or yak, and even water buffalo. But
what in the name of holy hunting is a Watusi? I thought that was a dance or a song at one time. What's a Watusi?
A Watusi is an African cattle. So it's like literally, they're the ones that have the most giant horns you've ever seen. Like their bases are this big, and they're just, they make long horns look stupid. They're just giant. They're crazy. I'll send you a picture of some. They're just crazy.
I'm all about that. Yeah, we'll post that up. So we've discovered what a Watusi is. We're learning right here on the Go Show with Tom Caldwell. He's the proprietor of Blue Rooster Ranch, Northeast Arizona. Got all kinds of fun. Is this a fenced ranch or is it not?
It is fenced. So it's a fenced ranch. It's 5 miles of fence surrounding the property. And the cool thing about the sheep too is that there's about 15 different species of sheep. So everyone's maybe heard of like Mouflon, Rambouillet, Corsican, Black Hawaiian, but there's all these different kind of sheep. And then we also have Uriel crosses, and that just some of the sheep that we have there will just bong your eyes out. They're just awesome. And in fact, we even have some that have over 50% Rocky Mountain Bighorn in them too. Ewes that have been crossed with Rocky Mountain Bighorn, Corsican ewes. They're really cool sheep.
I bet they're cool. Okay, so you did throw the B word in there, and I full disclosure here, I am going to be working out a bison hunt with you because something and this is why I tell everybody, I say, oh, you're going to go to a ranch to do that? Well, you darn right I am, because I work hard, I've saved for it, I have the clearance for it, and I'm tired of waiting for a tag, so I'll just donate if I ever get it. But I want to make that happen. So let's say a lot of people thinking about, I want to connect with Blue Rooster Ranch and Tom Caldwell, and I want to book a hunt. So let's start the process. How do we get started here?
So the first thing is to give us a call. We're going to give you our number, but it's we have just tons of people. Rhonda is our main person who books all the hunts, and she's really, really good. She's been doing this for a long time. Our number is 928-241-3221. and she's just awesome. And you'll get to talk to her directly. She'll give you all the information. And then you can also look us up on Facebook. We have like 25,000 followers, and Instagram even more than that. And then they'll just get you directly to. But we like for you to talk to Rhonda so you can kind of know everything, answer all your questions. But the main thing, and it's funny because you brought up a big point about you're going to go to a ranch. And one of the first questions you asked about it being a high fence ranch. I used to have all these answers and all these things, but the biggest thing is come check it out. Because here's the deal. I killed a big buck on the Arizona Strip after like 12 days of hunting every single day. I've killed 2 or 3 really big bull elk here in Area 3A3C and Unit 9, and just awesome, amazing hunts. And quite frankly, the ranch isn't like that. It's like you're not going to be. They're there. They're within that square mile. There are the animals. And there's some animals that you're going to get close to easy, and there's some animals that you won't even see that day. I don't care if you hunted 3 days in a row, you won't see some of them because they understand the canyons. They've been there. They live down in the salt cedars in the bottom, and they're just almost impossible to find. So it can be whatever you want it to be. It can be as hard as you like. There's people who will set out, who want the hard hunt. They're looking for a certain animal, and they 2 or 3 days later, they're like, Tom, tell me the honest truth. Is that animal here? It might not, because they can't find it. And then when they do, it's super exciting. And there's some people who just like to hear the gun go off, and they want to be there, and they want to kill something real right away that they love. It really just depends on what you want it to do. But the funnest thing about it is you can do it. The problem with hunting today is everyone that I know loves to hunt, but they just can't do it very often. And when they can, they're low opportunity things and stuff that where they might go and not even see anything. And unfortunately, that's why our recruitment is so small for hunters, because people don't get to go out there and try it. Their dad buys them a gun, gets them all excited about it, the opportunity. They put in, they don't get drawn, and then 2 or 3 years of that, and they're just done. It's over.
Yeah.
And so this is a place where you can go, bring your family. You're going to see stuff. You're going to see bison. You're going to see water buffalo. You're going to see rams and hogs, everything. And it's just, that's really why I did it, because I like to go and I like to see animals and I like to hunt, and it's such a cool place. And it's why go all the way to Texas when you can do that right here and have a little Colorado River? I'm a little bit biased, but our terrain, people freak out when they're hunting those canyons. They freak out. There's petroglyphs everywhere. Everything's going to drink from the little Colorado River. It's really amazing that way.
It's essentially, and this is what I'm getting the vibe as you're saying this, and we're at Tom Caldwell, Blue Rooster Ranch. It's you've brought the Midwest here, but hunting wise, you brought the Midwest here. Like you go out in the Midwest and deer hunt, you probably are going to see a deer, get a trophy deer or something like that, but you're not going to see one every day. You actually have to hunt. You actually have to put a little bit of time into it. But Arizona hunting is so much different than that. When you deal with high fence hunting, it's kind of like dealing with like hunting in Missouri, where I learned.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. The animals are there. You're going to have a legit chance to see stuff. And quite frankly, you're going to get opportunities that you're not going to get unless you go out of state a lot of times. And don't get me wrong. I hunted the Arizona Strip. It was a hunt of a lifetime. It was with a bow. It was 10 days. I think I almost cried when I finally got that big giant buck with a bow. But I'll tell you what, and in the meantime, on off seasons and other times, I'd go to Texas all the time to these places. And I like the ranch where there's enough land where you could actually hunt. There's stuff there that didn't just come to corn. And quite frankly, we do have some stuff that comes to corn. Hogs, when you start feeding them corn, they get super stupid. And there's some that, but in the summertime, we don't need to feed them that much because there's so much stuff growing around, especially in those river bottoms. But starting around October, we start feeding corn. But then there's some hogs that have seen death and they won't even come to that corn. They don't want it. And so if someone wants to go there and walk those canyons and find that stuff, it can be whatever you want it to be as far as that goes. And the biggest thing is you're out hunting right now. We today killed 2 rams and a hog. This morning, we killed a 500-pound hog that fell down into the river after they shot it. And they're like there with ropes. I'm so glad that we had to do this, Mike, because that got me completely out of that, where I didn't have to drag that hog over the cliffs.
Nice.
So,
right. That's awesome.
Yeah, you saved me, brother.
Now you're talking about hogs. You have big hogs and you got little hogs, and there are people that have different preferences, right?
And everything in between. And we have hogs that are legit meat hogs. We have hogs that are legit feral hogs. We have ones that have a lot of Russian influence, where they have big long snouts and big tusks. We have all those and they're all interbreeding. So it's just amazing.
Interesting. Okay, now can you do me a giant favor, Tom? I know you're in your truck right now, and you do it. I just love that we're connecting at this time, and I'm taking advantage of this opportunity. Would you mind hanging tight with me just for one? I have about 3 more questions for you. Can you stay through the break?
Sure.
Okay, I really appreciate it. Real quick before we go, give me the phone number one more time.
It's 928-241-3221, and ask for Rhonda, and she'll answer all your questions.
Tom Caldwell will stay with us. We're more with Tom Caldwell from Blue Rooster Ranch coming up next right here on The Go Show. Stay tight. We continue with Tom Caldwell from Blue Rooster Ranch right here on The Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of the state that we live in. Sometimes we get drawn, sometimes we don't. More often than not, we don't. And we have opportunities here in Arizona to take advantage of, like I talk about during bird season all the time. Right. Out there with Tony Marquez at Desert Creek Sportsman's Club. We're out there shooting birds and pheasants all the time, having a good time. And there's always something to hunt. But when opportunities come around and you want to get on a really fun hunt, maybe an exotic animal, maybe a hog, maybe a bison. That's right. You want to connect with Blue Rooster Ranch and Tom Caldwell. We talked about some of the species in the last segment. You catch it on the podcast if you missed it. But I want to get into the actual process when you're at the ranch. There is a ranch house, correct? Or do we bring an RV? How does this work?
Yeah, there is a ranch house. It actually holds 10 people, 4 bedrooms, a master bedroom, and then the other 2 have a bunk bed with a queen on the bottom and a twin at the top, and then another room that has but 10 people come all the time. That's actually kind of what it's made for. Full kitchen. It's actually really quite nice. It's very nice. And the main thing is that there's all the cooking there, all that stuff that goes on there. And a lot of people who come with us at the very beginning, we were wondering how many people would come and how often. We have almost what we call heavy users. People who've been here like half a dozen times to 10 or 12 times, and they love it.
That's great.
Because they love hunting and they just get opportunities, and there's so many different things here. And then they kind of like try different things. We have tree stands for bow hunters, tree stands in those big giant poplar trees that are down at the bottom of the canyons. We have spot and stock. That's, to me, spot and stock bow hunting. If you're a bow hunter, this is bow hunting paradise. It literally is the funnest freaking thing. Just this morning, there's a big Uriel ram that I've personally been chasing. I was with my hunter. I haven't seen him in the last 3 weeks, just so you know. I haven't seen him once, not at all. And I'm there every day hunting, and I have not seen this ram. Then all of a sudden, he's with a big group of rams. I'm like, he never hangs out with this group. And he's acting kind of dumb because he's with this group that are a little bit more mellow. I'm like, oh, dude, this is my... So I'm with my hunter. I'm like, can I borrow your bow? Can I? He's like, yeah. I didn't have my bow there or anything, and I've been hunting this ram. And he just floats my boat. Anyways, long story short, I still didn't even get a shot at him. But yeah, it's so freaking fun to go out there and just see animals that you're not going to see anywhere else. You're not going to get the chance to do that. And then and it's reasonable. I mean, hog hunts start at $500. Right. And any hog under 300 pounds of $500. Anything over 300 pounds of $625. Rams start at $500. That's a bronze level ram. $750 for a silver. $1,000 for a gold. And then there's specialty rams. Some of those that are the Uriel or have the Rocky Mountain Bighorn in them. They can be anywhere from $2,500 to $3,500, just depending on how big their horns are. And then the bison, a cow bison's $3,500, and then a big bull, actually a cow bison and a yearling young bull is $3,500, and then a giant, big trophy bull, they're $5,000. And right now on the ranch we have 9 or 10 buffalo, 2 water buffalo, a yak, Watusi. So they're just some really cool stuff. You have water buffalo, water buffalo, like we see in Africa, water buffalo. No, so the ones in Africa, those are Cape buffalo, but these are the ones that you'll see in Australia. Okay, all right. The Asian, those big water buffalo have those big moon-shaped horns, but they're just giant, and they're so legit mean. Especially these 2 that we have right now. They go down there in that canyon. I tell people, like, look, if you can't find the water buffalo before you go down in the canyon, just be slow. I'm afraid we have you sign something that says if you die on the ranch, it's your own fault. But just fair enough. You got it. That water. But the water buffalo are legit. They're not. They're like more of like, come at me or I'm going to come at you. They're not afraid of you. They're not. Running is their second option. Yeah, exactly, and that's true. Okay. Awesome. Can I just come hunt and then like wildlife watch for about 2 more days after that? That's half the fun. That's half the fun. We're going to go all through and check different stuff out.
That's
And every
so
day
much
you'll
fun.
get to see close to 2/3 of the animals, but there's a third you won't see just because they don't want you to.
Okay, so let's talk about you knock something big down. What's next? What is there processing on site? Do I need to bring
we actually have this big giant crane that can get 2,500, 3,000 pound animals up off the ground. We can get to most places. There's some places that we won't shoot a buffalo if we can help it, just because we'll literally have to quarter it and get it out by ourselves right then. Most of the places we try to get to with the side by side, and there's some places where bison like those big open plains, so a lot of times we can get right to them. We have a big winch with a trailer that can pull them up, so we can get them processed. And a lot of people don't realize this, but right now is a beautiful time to be hunting. I mean, today's probably going to be about 82 degrees. It was probably 55 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? It's gorgeous. It's just, this high desert's awesome.
That's fantastic. So what would somebody need if they want to go to Blue Rooster Ranch? Because I'm going to tell you this, and I love it that you ran through the almost the entire menu, and I just love that transparency and just, there's nothing hidden there at Blue Rooster Ranch. So I have a feeling that I'm coming with one budget and I'll leave with another because I'm getting excited about all the opportunities.
Well, I was like that in Africa. My son and I just went the year before COVID, and we had 12 animals on our list. And when we got there, I ended up killing about 30 different animals.
Yeah.
And I'm calling my wife every night saying, honey, it's once in a lifetime. And she's like, how many once in a lifetimes are there? That once in a lifetime thing doesn't work, does it, Mike? After a while, I'm like, that's
no. I'll tell you what.
I'll
tell you what did work is I took my wife out to happy hour a couple of months ago, and I took her, but I took her out to happy hour, and she just turns around and she goes, I want one of those. And I turn around and see what she was looking at. It was a bison mount.
Yes, she does want one of those.
And I said, honey, it's funny that you bring that up because I'm going to connect with Tom Caldwell, and I think I'm trying to work that out.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? It's so true. Come to the ranch and make sure you have a budget in mind, because I'm not a good influence. I get a little bit excited, and of course, I have a interest in having you do that. But quite frankly, I just love hunting. Some of the stuff's like, I'm like, oh, dude, that one's limping. I'll give it to you for that much. But the truth is, it's just it's just come just ready to have fun, see different animals. There's petroglyphs everywhere. There's literally dozens, if not hundreds of petroglyphs throughout that.
Crazy.
It's just cool.
That's absolutely crazy. Okay, so let's go back to it. You said you could get them off the ground, get them back to where processing done off site or on site?
So 90% of the processing is done on site. If you want stuff like that's grind, as far as like hamburger or sausage, that kind of thing, or cured like bacon, then that's off site. But like all the steaks, chops, roasts, we do all that right there.
You're making me hungry. And
it's so legit. Bison's unreal good.
But people are talking about the different or the different types of species you have on your ranch, and this is Blue Rooster Ranch. Are all of them as yummy and edible as they sound, or is there some
awesome. Yes, yeah. When you go, I think and I'm gonna get some people have completely different opinions in this, but I think the sheep that have wool, I don't like the taste of their fat. It's got like a lanolin taste to me. The hair sheep I really like. The pig is, I don't know if you know this, but bacon comes from pig, ham comes from pig, pork chops come from pig. Pig's good.
I want all bacon. All bacon. I'm going to get a bacon one, and I want one chops.
Like one magical animal makes all that delicious meat. It's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
And then bison are unreal, everything. But I love hair sheep, but the wool sheep, I don't like the way the fat tastes as much. Yeah. But quite frankly, people love it. I mean, I've had literally dozens of people call me back and say, you gave that a bad name. It was awesome. So
okay. Yeah, hey, to each their own. That's fine.
Exactly.
And this, I just think okay, so we're talking about $500 for a pig that's under like 300 pounds. I think you're saying it was.
Correct.
Okay, so under 300 pound pig gets you a lot of meat.
So here's the truth: pigs have a 50 to 60% yield. They're the very best yield of any animal. That's all meat. So like it's legit. You're gonna get, let's just say 50% for easy math, 150 pounds of awesome meat. And it's and it's not just kind of good meat. It's like you're gonna be sad when the last package is done. You're gonna be like, oh,
no,
and you're not gonna want to say some of it. You're not gonna. You'll just come right again.
Sad. No, because I'm coming back. I won't let there be a last package.
That's
will
the
not
real
be last
truth.
not a last package. Nope.
Yeah. We
All
have
right,
people
buddy.
come from
Hey,
all the
listen, we got about one more minute. So once again, I want you to tell website, phone number, tell everybody where they can come find you.
Look up Blue Rooster Honey Ranch. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We have a website. It's blueroosterhoneyranch.com. You can get a hold of us at 928-241-3221. Ask for Rhonda. Well, she's the one who'll answer the phone. She's awesome. She's been doing us out this for the whole time. So just really appreciate it. Really appreciate you guys coming. And quite frankly, we have dozens, if not a couple hundred people who have literally become very good friends, like literally our best friends. You're going to come our client and you're going to be a friend. That's the coolest thing about hunting. Property management, Mike, 1 out of 3 people you deal with and you might not like that much. They might be a little bit thinking that they're Donald Trump when they're really just some little mojo, like doing some real estate, and they think they're so big and bad. Hunters are the coolest people in the world. They're just,
Amen.
I'm not just saying that, they really are. It's rare that we have someone that's not like you, that you don't want to be buddies with, that you don't want to be friends with, that you don't want, because they're good people. They're down to earth. They're the funnest people. And it's just such a fun group. And I love it.
I'm bringing them to you. That's all the time we got. We will see you right here next week. Happy Get Outdoors Day right here on The Go Show. Have a great week.